I wanted to talk to you today about what kind of apocalypse do I think that us as humans, globally, um, I think we're going to face. Because I have to tell you that this is just based upon what I have read. This is just a belief I have. This is just my train of thought kind of thing. So it does not mean that this is what's going to happen. It's just, food for thought kind of thing, so that we can change some of the things that I am thinking that they are going to create a hell for all of our descendants. So anyway, before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email, so that you can help out the channel and me by sending an Amazon gift card. That is, within your choice and within your means or whatever. And thank you very, very much for helping me out. And now, so I have 3 right now. So before I continue, I wanted to define apocalypse, okay? Because most people confuse, emergencies, urgencies, disasters, hard times, and apocalypse and things like that. I mean, come on, this is kind of like a perspective, because what might seem like everyday life for me, because I'm in Venezuela and we're having so much trouble here, might look like hell for someone that has never experienced any kind of problems. So, it's not that, how to put it? It's not that easy to define apocalypse. According to the Bible, is when the 4 horses, come and then destroy everything. But an apocalypse, I think that you can have 2 levels. You have one that you will face no matter what the hell, and no matter how much money you have, and no matter who the hell you are going to face an apocalypse, an inner apocalypse. Because you're here in this planet because you are meant to grow, which means that you need to change, and which means that you will have room in which you will have to experience certain things and changes, and life can be upside down, so that you can see both sides of one coin. And oh crap, it's kind of like a personal choice that you make when you make your decision to come to life. So this one, oh hell, you can't avoid. You can't pay somebody to go through your own mind, okay? That is your own doing. Now we have a second one, which is that one that we do collectively for a particular region or a particular place, and we are kind of used to that one, and then in that thing there is like different connections towards others. So that thing that is affecting us can go global, or it can just be localized, and hopefully you are okay about that. But the point is that sometimes you might not go through an apocalypse thing in your own city or place or whatever, but hopefully you won't. But it's good to know where things are falling, like the domino thing that will fall. So first of all, the first one that I'm telling you, it's like we're going to be in the Matrix, and you are like, right, because of the social media. And I'm like, yes, but not like you think. So you remember that there was a scene, I don't know, in the Matrix movie actually, where this the starring guy was just out of the computer world thing, and then he went into the actual world, and the physical world was completely like dark, and it was very noisy, and it had all kind of technology crap, and it had nothing green going there, and it was just insane. Like there was no sun, no nothing whatsoever. Yeah, kind of like that. And you're like, what? So you think that we are actually in that thing? No. I'm not telling you that we are in that thing. I'm saying to you that you should consider something. See, we occupy a space. This is obvious because you can see me. You can touch the things that you can see, but most people do not consider that the things that they do not see, they also occupies a lot of space. And you're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, breathe, because this is going to sound strange for some people, and I swear some people will not believe this, but your Wi-Fi does not come from air. And you're like, oh, come on, it does. I don't see any cable or whatever. And I'm like, no. Listen, just breathe. And I'm saying to you that the internet, the world that we are creating, actually is in this plane, like in these frequencies. And we do not understand entirely how we are affecting these frequencies, like the wave frequencies. It's not even studied yet. We don't have scientists studying these things. We are just messing around with that. So here's how we do it. We take a lot of information and then we put it into something called server. So the servers, they need to store all the hell of the information that we have, that we create in social media. I'm not talking about, all the other things like the websites or whatever, because oh hell, that is a hell of a lot of more things that we create. So we are creating this world. It's like you being here and your world being there, like a virtual world. And that virtual world, is not being researched in two things. Number one, the impact of that world, in the waves and the microwaves and the alphabet and the electromagnetic kind of wave and everything. It's just, we don't. And the servers. The servers is where you store everything. Every time that you access your email, every time that you access your app, every time that you open a YouTube video, every time that you do whatever, even if you just Google something, that something has to be stored physically in a memory somewhere. Now, that storage is limited because, at this point, I can tell you right now that there was a girl long time ago that she figured out how to store 16 times the information that you could store in one memory card. She made it 60 times the amount in the same space. But that girl, I don't know what happened to her, and I do not know what happened to her technology, but it was never implemented. So basically we stuck with the memory card that was the same, and we screw up. So now we have like the memory card that holds, think of like the memory card in your cell phone, okay? Now, think about this. How many memory cards in your cell phone do you need to store all your emails and all of your apps and all of your data from those apps, and then the social media that you are doing, and then the videos, and then the photos, and then all of the updates that you're doing? Where do you think that is going? I mean, put it in a memory card. Where the hell do you think that's going? Well, that thing is going into a server. And the servers, they are made in specific places, and they have to come with a hell of a lot of security, because if they were going to try to compare this, if you were going to rob the Fort Knox and take the entire gold from the Fort Knox, that will be like being a newborn candy thing compared to robbing an actual server. Because in a server you will have literally millions of data from banks, from utilities, from companies, from social media, from people, and then from a lot of a web page and blogs and God knows what else. So that place, if somebody was to take those things, God knows what the hell they can do with that, because they can literally stop the world. And that is why that thing must be protected. So that means that they require a lot of space, and then a perimeter around it, and then they need a lot of generator electricity, and they need to be cooled down because obviously you're dealing with computer and microchips and stuff that cannot be hot or cannot be frozen, and they need to be maintained, and they cannot have humidity there. And not only that, but like I said, they produce a lot of noise, because that place, there is no way in hell that that place is going to be quiet, because you will have literally hundreds of thousands of computers working there, or even use one, but at the same time, think of it like each one of those servers will handle, I don't know, 10 people or stuff like that. So it's insane. And that place actually needs to be in the physical world, our planet. And guess what? That place is taking space from trees, from cities, from people, from roads, from whatever. Because obviously you cannot have both at the same time. So guess who is losing this battle? That's correct. All the trees and all of the animals are losing the battle because no one will fight for them, and everybody wants actual more. And the worst part of this thing is that, like I said, no research is being done on all of the noises that these servers are doing, all of the contamination that these places do, because they are emitting a lot of information all the time. It's like you having light bulbs all over the atmosphere and nobody thinking, okay, what the hell we're doing? No, because everybody's like, okay, we can't see it. So it's kind of like you trying to go around and mess up with gravity without not knowing what the hell is gravity. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We don't know how these things that we're doing with more Wi-Fi, more things, and more radio, and more whatever, how is this affecting the electromagnetic fields? And yes, those things will affect electromagnetic fields, because it's like you throwing a rock into water. That thing will ripple everywhere. And it doesn't matter if you are in the bottom of the water, you will still feel the ripples, even if it is, up there. So nobody is doing that. And not only that, but like I said, that thing is affecting the electromagnetic field. We don't know how, and guess what? The electromagnetic field is something that is connected directly also towards us, and it is part of the perception that we have about time, is about the perception that we have about each other, is about so many freaking things. And like I said, we are not putting money into this. And not only we're not putting money into these studies so that we can understand what we're doing or whatever, we're just doing it. It's like you driving a car and you have never in your entire life read the manual about what the hell is the levels do. You don't even know where the hell to take the wheel. You're just driving all over the place, even, and crashing all over the machine, and the machine will keep working because God knows how long it will keep working until you destroy it. Kind of like that. Or you throw it into a drift or something, and then that's it. We all die. So the point is that also we are having troubles because nobody cleans where you cannot see. So we have an average of, like I said, let's say that for the sake of argument, because like I said, this is just for making you think. Let's say that we need 1 square feet of actual physical space to do the server thing. Because, we don't clean the emails. Have you seen anybody cleaning their emails lately? Have you seen anybody unsubscribing for things that they do not use or they just don't care? I mean, come on. You might have subscribed to 45 things and you don't even look at them. So not only do we have like 1,000 things that we are collecting in the email thing, and then we can't keep up because most of them are just garbage, and is also creating other people's list, like marketing lists, people who will be sending you more emails. So that is costing them money. And you are basically creating a problem for everybody. But like I said, no one is cleaning their email. No one is cleaning their apps. Like, I haven't used this app in, I don't know, let's say over a year, but I still have it on the cell phone. So it is still consuming, like I said, physical space. And there is, so many freaking things that we don't do that takes a lot of physical space. So let's say that is 1 feet, and we are 3.5 billion people using that thing. And guess how much of that is actual space? Can you imagine? Try to compare that with a country, with your country, with your city, locally, so that you can take an idea of how big of this problem is. And here's the problem. When people are addicted to social media, they will create more. Now you have, before you had, let's say, Facebook. But then you had WhatsApp, and then you had YouTube, and then you had Twitter, and then you had Instagram, and then you have MySpace, and then you have, 5 other more that I can't even think about. And TikTok, or it's just that there are so many freaking social media right now, I can't keep up. So my point is that most people are going to be, okay, Telegram. So you have what? I have just mentioned 8, and they are just common in each cell phone that now they are building. So my question to you is, how is this affecting your span of attention? Like the time that it takes you to grab information for something. Come on, because every time that you're open your Instagram, you're thinking, okay, should I put this on the Facebook? And then you're like, should I put this on the Twitter? And then you're like, yeah, I'm going to share these directly into YouTube. And then you're like, yeah, that's not enough. I'm going to put it on Telegram. I mean, how much time and how much things are you consuming into this world that is not actually real, which is creating a hell of a lot of troubles for animals and trees and deserts and all kind of places that these servers are going to be set up in? You know what I mean? So it's literally insane. So also, like I said, no one is doing scientific research about how these affect, the environment. Heat waves, microwaves, whatever. We don't know. And this, no one is talking about. No one is telling you that you not cleaning your virtual world is creating a mess in our physical world. And if you're thinking that you're going to put a server near your city, you should know that these servers, like I said, they are loud. They make vibrational levels of sound that can, it's just, like I said, it is completely insane, and we can't avoid, we can't avoid this one. And the reason why we can't avoid this one is because no one knows this. No one cares. And if you are going to tell someone that they should eliminate, some social media, and they should just stick to maybe 1 or 2 or maybe whatever, they should be just more selective, because you can't have 50, you should have 10 at the most or whatever. We're not telling people that they shouldn't do something. We're just telling you to do it a little bit more, concise. Be more focused. And you can't force people into being more focused, because there is something called free will, and there is a lot of things that are going behind this. And I do believe that the reason why we have lower IQ in the people that we are raising, meaning our kids, is because of these frequent waves or whatever, and they are affecting a lot of things. And I don't know how the hell we're going to fix that. I swear, because I have, like I said, if we had scientific data to try to fix that, that would be, good. But instead, everybody is like, oh, global warming or whatever. And they don't seem to realize that global warming might have been caused by the wave thing that we are creating in this virtual world. Because that virtual world was not there before. So whatever. Until we don't have scientific data to fix this, then we're screwed, basically, because we're going to drive blindly into the mountain, and then we're going to crash it, and then the mountain is going to be on top of us, and then we're going to be buried there. So whatever, I don't know. And by the way, this one is happening very, very, very fast, because every second there are like tens of millions of web pages that are being opened. So yeah, that means more servers. Yeah, and by the way, those servers, they're not free, because like I told you, they consume electricity and this and this and that, and guess who is going to pay for them? That's right, you are. So you are going to be in the loop, in which you are going to spend a lot of money to maintain these things, social media, emails, whatever. And then, this is going to go hell. I don't know how we're going to fix that. So the second thing that I think that we are going to have is natural disasters all over the place. People are associating these ones with global warming, and I am not, okay? So are you saying that global warming is not real, whatever? We have scientific proof, whatever? Yes, I'm saying to you that we have scientific, evidence that there is a problem with the global scale of temperatures and things, and we are basically changing a lot of things in the planet. But I do not think that it is just one system. Like, you can't blame just the icebergs. So here's the deal. I blame the whole global warming thing, not just to us, obviously, but I blame it into several things. So I do know that there is a sand war going on, meaning that it's like you having a glass of water, and then you poking the glass container. You poke it. Eventually, you will break it. So that is what's happening in the sand. Everybody's dragging sand out of the ocean. And for whatever, because they are looking for gold, they are using this for construction, whatever. So actually sand is becoming more expensive and more difficult to get, and then you have more constructions, and then you have more mess, and you have a lot of other things, and oh crap, there is a whole lot of information that you can get out there for the sand. So we don't know how we're going to affect this. We don't know how the hell we're going to do this one. So it's like insane. Then there is a problem with the ice. Because, see, the ice that we have in the planet is frozen for a reason. And the reason is because the currents in the sea, they are different. Meaning that you have kind of like an electricity thing going on in the water because of the salt level. Meaning that some places in the sea will actually have kind of clear water, meaning that it will not be salty, and others will be salty, and then there will be balance, and that's how you create currents. And the currents are the ones that keep the planet water flowing, and at the same time they're currently doing that. And this thing, the salt thing also carries more heat. Everybody knows that if you boil water and then boil water with salt, the water with salt will boil faster. Now that that water is not meant because it will get hotter faster. It is not meant to go certain places, especially near corals. And what happens is that now that they are in the corals, oh hell, they are killing the corals. And when they are killing the corals, then the whole thing just gets into, I don't know how to put it, but I will say that they will just be kind of like try to drop a bomb into a city. Yeah, that is the same thing. It's just that the city is not our city, but it is actually on the water when the corals die, and then the whole thing dies, and then the animals will leave, and then the whole thing will mess up, and then the whole change will change again, and then the current change. And when the current change, the sea water that actually had salt, it will go into the ice, and when it does go into the ice, it will melt them, because the difference is holy crap. I mean, you have to understand how the hell does salt work in the sea. And we are doing several studies on this, but it is not enough. So basically, I think that it has been said like 100,000 times that we know more about space, that we know about the ocean and the salt and the connection between salt and the currents and the whole thing, and how is it working. Because otherwise, we are screwing this one up. And this one, oh crap, this one is entirely on us, just like the sand. But, it's just insane. So, then there is the electromagnetic fields that we are messing around with. And you're like, what? What the? Yeah, I'm sorry, but you do know that there is something called gravity that we have been studying like for a long time? Yeah, there is something called electromagnetism inside the air as well, And it affects a lot of things, like you microwaving things and stuff like that. And basically this is done through some metals, and they are putting more metal into the air. And when you have more metal into the air, it will change the electromagnetic field, because now you have more metal into that place. It's like you have radiation. You can't see it. But if you take Geiger's device thing, or whatever it is called, you will be able to tell that they have, radiation there. And you're like, what? If there is, the trees are here and everything looks fine. Yes, but there is radiation there. How the hell can you know that? Well, because there is metals in there. Radiation means that there are metals in there. And if you breathe them, then they will stick into your body. And guess what metals do to our bodies? Come on. We are living things that actually have an electromagnetic field. Each one of us has an electromagnetic field called aura, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And then that thing, we are messing around with this one big time. We are, putting lead into the atmosphere. We are putting, so many freaking things. And this is also changing the CO2 thing, and this is changing everything. And it's like scientists, it's like they are trying to connect all of these dots, and they don't seem, it's like each person is trying to do one dot, but it's like they don't seem to put them together. And the first thing that you actually need to do when you're facing a problem like this is stop making it worse. You may not be able to fix it, but you do not want to make it worse. And we are making it worse, because the electromagnetic fields, it also responds to, guess what? That. The sounds and the whole things that we are doing with the social media and all of that. Which means that basically, with this, we are stuck, because there is not enough studies to do all these things. And then there is the nukes that we are handling with the water. And you're like, what the hell? Yeah, because when you launch things into water, the water has an electromagnetic field that's completely different from air, which is why it is thicker. So it's kind of harder to get to some things. But here's the deal: water sits on top of earth, and the earth will get that thing. And when the earth gets that thing, guess what happens? Yes, that is correct. Earth has its own vibration, and it will try to get these metals all together because of magnetism or whatever, and that is creating a lot of other problems. Even if they are a small scale, it's like you trying to take ants. See, ants, you don't see what the hell they're doing. But they are working there all the time, and they take small pieces, and a small piece, and then a small piece, and then a small piece, and then a small, and guess what? Yeah, they can build a freaking city for the entire, colony or whatever, by small pieces. So that is the same thing. We are dropping things. We are dropping things like a water into a rock. There is one, I might not do nothing. Two, it might not do nothing. 3, it might not do nothing. But when it comes to the 11th, like maybe, I don't know, a million drops. And then the freaking rock will just freaking break. Yeah, the same thing we're doing. When we're launching, nukes into the earth, nukes into the water, we are doing so many freaking things. It's just insane. And this is going to create a lot of disasters that we are not even aware of. And people are saying, yeah, it's because of global warming, it's because we have too much trash. It's not necessarily truth. Yes, we are creating a lot of trash, and yes, we are creating a lot of problems, but it's like you having a lot of crap in your house, and then everything goes dirty and everything looks like a mess, and you're blaming it into the crap that you bought. It's not that you bought the crap, okay? The fact is that you did 3 things wrong. Number 1, when you got the house, you should have known where your things were supposed to go, okay? Because if you buy things and put them into your house and you do not know where they are supposed to go, then you put them wherever. And when you mix them up, like you put things into your room, into your kitchen, and they are supposed to go into the basement, and then you put them into the basement and they're supposed to go to another place. That place in which you are messing around with your own house, that is a problem. The problem is not you buying things for your house. The problem is that you do not have a place for it, and you are making choices, and you do not know. And then the second problem that you have is the fact that all of those things are going to collect dust. You need to clean them, meaning you need to maintain them. We are not doing maintenance of things. We are not investing money into scientific research. We don't know what we are doing. And the people that are trying to help by calling this global warming, and they are trying to fix the problem, it's like, okay, let's say that you are dying in your house, okay? You had a heart attack right now. And then you have a 5-year-old with you. And that 5-year-old just takes the freaking car, he takes you, like he pushes you the hardest that he can into the car, and then he drives through hell to try to get you to the hospital. And then he gets you to the hospital. Well, guess what? Your car is destroyed, and that kid probably, is going to end up, in so much trouble for, all of the things that they are doing because they're trying to save you, but they don't know how. It's like you. We as an adult, as a human race, we are acting like that 5-year-old. We have no idea how we're going to save this thing. We're trying. Some scientists are trying. So they are calling it global warming, and they're trying to make us recycle, and they are trying to make us do things. But the truth is that they don't have any idea about how the hell we're affecting the vibrational level. They have no idea how the hell we're handling these electromagnetic fields. They have no idea how the hell we're doing these things. And it's like we have like 25. It's like your house is on fire, and then there is a flood outside, and then there is a hurricane coming, and then you're having an earthquake, and on top of that, your family is screaming at you at the same time. All of them. So how the hell do you focus on all of them? The answer is you don't. You get out of the house, and then you figure out what the hell to do. But first, you gotta have a bug out bag so that you can know how to survive out there. So we gotta figure out how the hell are we going to manage to survive all of these problems while we're trying to fix them. But you need to put in charge. You need to call the fire department to deal with the fire. You probably need to figure out how the hell to swim. If you don't know how to swim, you try to learn. If you know that the hurricane is coming, then you try to figure out how the hell to get a boat or a car or something that will get you out of that area. And then you also need to tell your family, shut up and try to help. Otherwise, shut up. Because the family here is that everybody's trying to have an opinion. And it's just not working like that. And then we also have the lack of truth. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, but this one is just kind of like this. We, as a human, we are trying to save the planet. And if you don't know that, oh hell, you should try to see all of the NGOs and all of the things that all we are doing are trying to help. to save the planet. But like I said, we are trying to save the planet from problems that we don't understand. Like I said, you are that 5-year-old who is trying to drive the car and you have no idea how the hell to drive the car, and you are trying to put your mother into a freaking car, and you don't even know how the hell to put your mother into the car, and then you have to drive to the hospital, and you don't know where the hell the hospital is. So we are that 5-year-old. We are handling things that we are incapable of handling because we don't have money placed into research and studies, because these studies and these things, they take time. You can't, that's why they are called a problem. You can't fix it with just money. The money will buy you, maybe the tools to try to fix it, but if you don't know, then you're screwed. It's like you having the car and you're a 5-year-old who doesn't even know where the hell to put the key. So we are like that. And the lack of truth means that we are trying to save the planet, but we are not doing it properly. We are planting trees that we are actually watering. And you're like, what? Yes, this is the thing that we're doing. We are actually planting trees because we're thinking that will solve the problem. So we water the trees, and then when the storm comes, the tree becomes a problem because it will fall. Why? Because we are messing around with things that we do not understand. Hell, and I can prove it. You don't even understand that if you water your tree all the time, that tree, the root, will be superficial all the time because the water is always superficial. The tree will not grow down. If the tree does not grow down, trying to look for water by itself, then the root will be superficial. And if the root is superficial, as soon as there is a small storm, the root, that thing will fall down. It will not hold. And why didn't it hold? Because we messed with it. You should water certain things, but to a certain point. And then you need to let it go. You need certain things to grow by itself, and you are not supposed to mess up those things. And then, like I said, there is metals in the air, and there is a lot of things that we don't understand. So how the hell do we fix this? We as, Jane Does or whatever. So here's what you do. You create a small garden for yourself, and those trees you do water and you do take care of so that you can eat your own things, and you can try to help with the environment because certain plants will take care of metals, especially sunflowers. Here you do this by trying to plant things that will remove metal from the air. That will help a hell of a lot because we are actually helping the air, and we are actually helping the earth, and we are actually doing this thing. But like I said, you can't water the plants every day because then they will have superficial roots, and then that is not what we want. We want to make things, we want to help nature, kind of like a little push. We don't want to, it's like you having your kid, your 5-year-old kid, you want the kid to learn how to swim, so you push it. You push him or her into the pool, but you have to let them do the swimming. You cannot swim for them. You cannot, grow the plant just like you want or whatever, because that's not how it works. And the last one is that we are going to face problems with food. And I don't mean famine. And you're like, what? But we are going to have famine. Oh, hell yeah. But here's the deal. Like I said, again, we do not know nothing. We are barely understanding two things right now. Two things. Number one, there is something called nanoparticles inside your vegetables, and we are losing them. That's right. We are losing the nanoparticles inside our food, and those things are being replaced. And not only that, but there are studies that have proven that when you put chemicals into the soil, those chemicals, again, they are like little metals and things. They are taking away energy or space from the things that were supposed to be there, and then you are eating that. You're not eating the actual nanoparticle that was supposed to be in the food. That's why there are so many freaking troubles with nutrition. Because we are genetically manipulating food that we don't even know, because we don't understand how change one small thing out of 3 million things will affect these nanoparticles. But it has affected nanoparticles, and this has been proven. If you affect the nanoparticles inside the food, then you, meaning us, the humans, when we are eating that, we are actually not getting the full nutrition that we should have. And that also creates a second problem. Now we are going to be actually developing allergies to the natural food because it doesn't have the nanoparticle that it was supposed to have. So over time, I'm not saying that you will eat something and then you're going to have an allergy tomorrow. I'm saying that over time, you will become intolerant to that food because that food has small metals and small things that are not supposed to be there, and it's like the small rock, like I told you, the small drop. If you eat one, you will have no problem, you're like the rock. But there will be a point in which a million, yeah, you will break. Same thing will happen to your body. And this is why we're having so many freaking troubles, because we are manipulating our food. Now, not only that, but when we are manipulating the food, then they are losing the capacity, the food is losing the capacity to reproduce itself, which means that basically now we need to reproduce them. Now, I have a question for you. Why do we want to have that kind of problem? Okay, so let me put it this way. You go and you buy seeds for tomatoes. You grow the tomatoes. And then if it was normal tomato, you take the seeds, you throw them into the soil, and they will grow. But now they don't. Not only that, but the flavor is different. The nanoparticles are not there anymore. And not only that, but that seed is never going to produce any tree. That means that you will have to actually buy more seeds. Now we are not in charge of the reproduction of the food. So whoever holds that has a hell of a more power than, I don't know. Who do you think? Put it there. Yeah, they will have more power. So we have a huge issue because we are being bombarded with problems from metal in the air, which is messing things up like you have no idea. We are not studying things that we're doing. We are messing around with the food genetic thing. We don't even know how these nanoparticles are supposed to work. And we do know that they exist in nature, and in our food they are not there. So how are we going to handle that? It's like you going into the bank and you're going to withdraw your money, but you don't have your account number. And then you're like, yeah, but I have my ID. No, I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. Because let's say that there are, other people that have your name and your surname. So basically they can't do that. You have to have your ID, your account number. Yeah. So you have the money, meaning you're eating the food, but you're not going to withdraw any money from it because it doesn't recognize you. The account number that they are giving you is not the same as the one that you have. So you have like this short circuit in the food thing, and it's all messed up. So this is going to make us eat more and more and more of those metals and those plastics that are putting into the food to make it grow, bigger and to make it look beautiful and all that stuff. So you are sacrificing nutrition. And then, like I said, you have problems with the sea. Then you have problems with the nanoparticles that are inside that food, which are plastic and metals. Both of them will mess up all of your hormones. And not only they will mess up with all of your hormones, which by the way that means smaller penises, and that also means hair in the face of the women, and that also means, a lot of other things. And they also messed up with your IQ, because guess what, you have an IQ called emotional IQ. Yeah, it's not just you being smart. You have also emotional IQ, and your emotional IQ is going to go to hell if you can't handle your hormones. Everybody, if you're a woman, everybody will tell you, it's that time of the month. Yeah, except that now, men will have it, but it will be worse, because they are men. So try to imagine a man that is depressed all the time and wants to cry and wants to, be a woman. Not in a bad way, but like be a woman crying 40 times a day because his hormones are off the charts. He doesn't want to cry. It's just he can't control it. And now try to imagine a woman that is always angry and she doesn't know what the hell. And everybody will be like, come on, man, what the hell is wrong with you? And you're like, I'm angry all the time. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, that is because of hormones. Hormones will make you go depressed. They will make you go crazy. They will make a lot of things with you. That means that you will actually now, we need medicine or we need a lot of treatments and stuff to do this thing. Hormones will also make you, hungry or thirsty. And there's so many freaking things that we don't even know about hormones. I mean, come on. Hormones are even triggered by smell, and we don't even know how the sense of a smell works in our body entirely. That is not even proven. We don't even know what the hell our hair does in our body. So you are telling me that we are the smartest, species on this planet, and we don't know how our hormones work. We don't know how to make our food work with the nanoparticles. We don't know how to handle the metal in the air that is creating a lot of a mess with the electromagnetic field, and we don't know what the hell that is doing through the things that we're doing to the virtual world, and we don't know what the hell we're doing with anything. And then you're telling me, yeah, that this is because of, education or whatever. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but here's the point. Everybody keeps complaining about, education. As in, why are you teaching children what are the parts of a plant, and why does the flower has this kind of shape, and why does it need to attract insects and stuff like that? There is a reason why we teach that to kids. And you're like, yeah, so that they can be, what, stupid? No. It's because we need kids to understand that we are part of an ecosystem, and the ecosystem needs to work in certain process, and it needs to fit, and it needs to be based upon the shape of the insect works with the shape of the flower, and then the shape of the flower will work with the plant, and the plant will work with the soil, and the soil will work with the water system, and then the water system will work with the whole air system, and then the air system will work with you, because it will provide you with food and things. If we don't teach that to little kids, they are supposed to be curious. We have to teach them curiosity for nature, because if we don't, then how the hell are we going to have scientists that are curious enough to try to figure out how the hell this thing works? So that's it. That's why I think that we are screwed. Basically, because I think that no one is putting money into these problems. These three things. And almost nobody, I swear, I don't think that most people will know about the nanoparticles in food. I don't think that people know about the black earth that we need to produce to solve the problems with nutrition and food and stuff. It's just insane. You should watch documentaries about how the hell we can save the soil. Because if we don't save the soil, we can't freaking save the freaking food. And then whoever owns the seeds basically will have monopoly of all of the food. And the other choice that you have is actually buying plastic. that is just totally insane, and that's why I think that this is an apocalypse.